Hey Tech fans, welcome to RamblinRec.com. I'm Roddy Jones, and joining me today is the head coach of our volleyball team, Tonya Johnson. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me today.
It's our pleasure. It's our pleasure. Thank you for joining us. First, let's talk about last weekend. You go 2-0, two tough teams, Virginia and Virginia Tech, after going 0-2 on the road the weekend before. Talk about how big that was for your team and just to get two ACC wins.
I think it was important for us to come out and respond to the weekend that we had in North Carolina. And I think the overall lesson for this team this year is it's not about what happens to us, but about how we respond to what happens to us. And I felt like our kids stepped up to the challenge and played really well this past weekend versus Virginia Tech and Virginia.
Yes, they did. And those two wins made you 9-0 at home. What's been the secret for being so good at O'Keefe Gym?
Well, you know, it's just a great environment. In my opinion, one of the best environments to play in across the country. And I think our kids thrive off of that. And, you know, we have great support from our student section and from our fans and from our band. And it's just an electric place to play in. And I just don't know how you couldn't feed off of that and be undefeated at home at this point in time in the season. And so when you talk about home court advantage, I think our kids are really, really taking advantage of that and trying to protect our house and not lose a match at home this year.
And you've been successful in doing that so far. Part of your big success has been the two seniors, the two big seniors, I guess you could call them, Bailey Hunter and Monique Mead. But recently, you've had a freshman step up and provide some great minutes for you, and Chanel Clark-Bibbs. So talk a little bit about her and what has she added to the team?
Well, you know, Chanel is one of those kids that, you know, she wants to be great. And, you know, at the end of practices, sometimes we do they do a self-analysis of themselves, and they give themselves a thumb up or a thumb down. And, you know, she'll be the first, even though she's had a pretty solid practice, she'll be the first to give herself a thumb down because maybe she missed an assignment or two, or maybe she didn't follow directions or whatever. And so she's her own toughest critic, and she expects great things from herself. So her expectations of herself are pretty high. And so I think she's done a tremendous job for us over the course of the last couple of weeks. And I expect her to do great things for our program, not only right now, but in the future as well.
Mm-hmm. And right now you're about halfway through the year, 13-4. It's a pretty good record, pretty good winning percentage. Give us your midseason analysis. What are you most pleased with this team, and what do you look for in the second half of the year for this team to get better at?
You know, being a senior-led team, I think I'm most proud of the fact that our 5 seniors have really taken this season to heart, and that they really want to go out on a great note. And so, you know, when you have 5 seniors and they were all named captains this year, and so, you know, if they go out and set a high standard for what they do and the expectations that they have from themselves, then the rest of the team will follow. And I think that's been a really, really important thing along the lines of leadership, is that they're showing up every day wanting to get better. And I think our younger kids see that, and they're taking a lot of pride in that as well. And so that's probably the thing that I'm most proud of, is that it's their team and that our seniors have taken the reins and they want to be great leaders, and I think they've done an outstanding job of that.
Well, that's great. And now we're going to talk a little bit about the upcoming games. You've got two teams, Wake and Duke, who have struggled a little bit so far in ACC play, but you are going on the road, a place that hasn't been the friendliest to the current Georgia Tech team. How do you get this team up, and how do you get them to see the importance of these games? Even though you're going on the road against two teams that have struggled a little bit, how do you prevent that letdown?
Well, as you can see, we haven't been very successful on the road just yet. And so, you know, just trying to get our kids to understand that we have to play within ourselves and we have to feed off of each other when we're on the road. And it's, you know, it's tough to play on the road in the ACC, as we're finding out this season and every season that I've been here. And so I think it's important for our kids to understand that we have to be mentally tougher on the road and that we have to be able to rise to the occasion. And that's what this weekend's about. You know, Wake's a very, very solid team. Their record is no indication of the type of team that they are. And Duke's history and how good they've been in the past, they have tremendous tradition. And I expect that they'll bounce back from the weekend that they had this past weekend. And so 2 tough matches on the road that we have to go into with a lot of confidence. And, you know, a lot of that confidence starts in practice, and that's kind of been the message all week long, is that, you know, you gain the confidence here in the practice gym, so when you go somewhere and play, whether it's home or away, that you're able to do the things that you're supposed to do to be successful.
Well, thank you, Coach, and thanks for joining us. With Coach Johnson, I'm Roddy Jones for RamblinRec.com. Join us again next week for more interviews.